were you doing before you became the CEO of Alexander Dennis back in 2007?
So prior to 2007, I worked for a company called Terex Corporation for approximately 12 years. And I stayed in the States a couple of times, once in the Midwest in Iowa, once in Connecticut. But in that 12 years, clearly being a proud Scot, and it didn't affect my accent too much, but I was part of the team that took the business from roughly $300 million in turnover to almost $9 billion. And in that time, they manufactured, if you like, earth-moving equipment, trucks, aerial work platforms, cranes, things of that order. But what was brilliant for me was in those 12 years, we grew primarily by acquisition, and we made some brilliant acquisitions, some very nicely profitable businesses, but we bought some real basket case Lulus as well. And you learn as much through, troubled brands, troubled customer propositions, troubled financial performance, troubled team dynamics. And I like to think in those 12 years, that helped give me the broader skill set that when I came back to Scotland in 2007 to run Alexander Dennis, I could try and steer us in a positive direction and try and avoid some of the pitfalls and potholes that I had learned, through my my North American ventures.
So take us back to that time. How was Alexander Dennis doing back then?
Well, I agreed to join the business back in 2006, but I didn't get out of Terex until early 2007. Alexander Dennis had been in administration back in 2004. The parent company had effectively become insolvent. And 3 Scottish entrepreneurs invested in it. And a couple of years on, by the time they were talking to me, it was clear that the business had potential. Public transport is an absolutely critical and essential service, but it was kind of turning over 150, 170 million, give or take, and struggling to get much better than break even. And in a business that needs a lot of capital investment for new products, new markets, and innovation, the view was that I'd been there, seen it and done it in a different industry. So, buses and coaches carry people. The business I'd been in before carried dirt, if you like, so we could take some of those transferable skills. And to be honest, in the early days, this is 2007, pre the financial recession, I thought we were going to do a buy and build. So we're going to do an M&A play. And how wrong could I be? Because A, we were private, B, we didn't have the risk appetite that a public company would have, and C, with the financial crisis coming just around the corner, our focus became much more organic. But I guess as well, we had around 20% of the UK market. We were primarily a UK player, but we were seen. And I remember asking one of our key customers, "How do you see Alexander Dennis?" And he used 2 words, or 3 words actually: white bread. So kind of staple, boring, basic, low-cost product. And dinosaur. You've been around since the late 1800s. You take relationships for granted, and unless you can really raise your game, you guys are going to be extinct. I thought, whoa. I'd written a big check, I'd invested, and I've got a big enough ego that I didn't want to fail, especially back in my homeland. So, we set out to basically get our house in order, and do the basics really well. I've used this saying many times: in the valley of the blind, the one-eyed man is king. If a bus operator is going to provide a reliable bus service, let's design a reliable product. Let's make it fuel efficient. Let's make it value for money in day one, because commercials will always be part of any procurement decision. And that probably took a little bit longer than I would have liked. But that then gave us the springboard to then look at other markets and to leverage other products into other markets.